Right now, the prices of gold and silver are continuously hitting record highs, and at Noble Gold Investments, they can help you capitalize on these gains. Whether you want to stock some money into an IRA or have precious metal coins on hand, Noble Gold will help keep you financially secure. Check out their free ebooks or give them a call. Find their info in the description below. What is up, everybody? Welcome. Sunday, June 21st. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Happy summer solstice, longest day of the year for the top half of the earth. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a few things. Latest Q drops. We got a handful of them from yesterday and today. We'll take a look at the fake news media's reaction to Donald Trump's rally that was held last night. They're saying some crazy shit this morning about it, as per usual. And then we're also going to take a look at this epic Q meme that Donald Trump's son, Eric, posted straight to his Instagram page yesterday. And there was nothing subtle about it. And that's the first thing we're going to get into here is that meme that Eric Trump posted. So I'm going to have to show you the screenshot and tweet that I made about it because Eric went and deleted it about 20 or 30 minutes after he posted it. But this is what it looked like right here. It said, "Who's ready for the Trump rally tonight?" on an American flag. You can see the Q obviously superimposed right there and the "Where we go one, we go all" hashtag right at the bottom. Nothing subtle about this one. There is no plausible deniability that he has here. It was an absolute message sent directly to us Anons. Huge Q proof right there. And it wasn't just Instagram that he posted this to, but also to Facebook. And he deleted it from Instagram and Facebook. So there you go. Message sent. You know, here's something to take note of. If you're looking for proofs out there to try to prove to the normies that Q is legit, you don't have to bend over backwards or try to reach for the stars to try to pull some proof together. You know, you don't have to whip it out of your ass. You can literally just look with what's right in front of you. And actually, it's better to keep it simple. The more simple you can keep it, the easier it is to prove to people. And gosh, just look at Trump's Twitter, President Trump's Twitter. How many times has he tweeted and retweeted things having to do with QAnon, like hashtags or the "Where we go one, we go all" hashtag, or some Q followers, something like that. You can look at Eric Trump's posts here. You know, again, keep it simple, easier information to relay. And isn't it beautiful? Every single time something like this happens, Eric Trump posts this, Donald Trump retweets a Q follower, something like that, you know? The meltdown is glorious. The meltdown from the fake news media journalists and the blue check marks on Twitter and just all the propagandists. Their meltdown is just absolutely glorious. Now, moving on, it wasn't just Eric Trump that posted something suggestive to his timeline yesterday, but I do want to highlight something that came from Donald Trump Jr. Now, this wasn't quite as obvious, but the reason I'm noting it is because of some coincidences. Namely, number one, this meme that Donald Trump Jr. posted to Facebook was posted pretty much at the exact same time as his brother Eric's meme on Instagram and Facebook. So this was posted at the exact same time. Now, look at this meme. It's comparing, quite obviously, a Joe Biden rally to a Trump rally, which there is no comparison. But for the meme's sake, look at this, okay? We got Joe Biden circled there and an arrow going from Joe Biden's name to him. What does that look like? What does that look like? A backwards Q. Now again, it's a backwards Q, not obviously a Q, and there's a lot more plausible deniability with this one, so Trump Jr. doesn't have to exactly go and delete this a half hour later. But again, I can be pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that Trump Jr. was sitting there when he was posted it and being like, that looks like a backwards Q, right? Proofs, messages sent. And the fake news wasted no time in writing up a hit piece to attack Eric Trump for posting that meme. Here's Forbes with their rendition. It was the first one I saw yesterday. Some others had theirs after that, but there we go, folks. Eyes on. Now let's take a look at what the media is saying about Trump's rally. So Trump's rally, I watched it. I tried to watch all of it, but my gosh. Trump must have been excited for that one because he was going for like 2+ hours off on everything. He was going off on COVID. He was going off on the riots. He was going off on his political opponents, Joe Biden, just all this stuff. It's pretty glorious, you know. Few things the media is trying to say about it. They're trying to say, well, oh, the attendance was supposed to be way bigger and there wasn't that many people there, when there was actually some folks that weren't able to get in. It could have been a higher attendance, but there was protesters there, agitators trying to prevent them from getting in. We're going to read Q's drops in a sec. They even said some threats were called in, so they had to clamp down on what was going on, but could have been way bigger. Nevertheless, it was still big, huge, thousands of people in that auditorium. Compare that to that Joe Biden rally that we just saw, where you can literally count everybody on two hands. No competition, man. Absolutely no competition. I don't know how in the hell these polls show Biden having even up to a double-digit lead in some places. It's absurd. And then Fox News even putting out polls showing Biden's ahead. No. Nobody's going to believe those polls. Come on. Don't kid yourself. But back to this rally. Trump was up there for a long time. There were weird things going on with it. And then when I woke up this morning, seeing what the fake news media, with their angle they were trying to take to attack all this with, I had to laugh. You can't not laugh at this. They're really trying to say that TikTok users were trying to troll Trump's campaign by reserving tickets for Tulsa, and they never used them. CNN posted that late last night, so again, they wasted no time. This was posted just a couple of hours after Trump's rally ended. Really, I mean, they must have been writing this during it. Maybe they wrote it before and had it pre-planned, but that's CNN's rendition. The New York Times put out theirs this morning. TikTok teens and K-pop stans say they sank the Trump rally. Oh, man. Well, before we get into what they're trying to say and all that, I just want to make a note that if you haven't noticed this, I definitely have. The bot networks on the internet are being activated more than I've ever seen before. Okay? As Q has continuously said, all assets activated. We know Twitter recently activated Anonymous to come out and basically combat QAnon and pro-Trump messaging and push pro-Antifa messaging. Those anonymous accounts on Twitter and even the page on Facebook, they're weird. Total controlled opposition. And the bot networks elsewhere, like on Twitter, I don't know how many tweets I've seen lately where it's a tweet that has 5,000 plus likes. It goes pretty viral. It gets some engagement. And then I check the account and it says joined May 2020 or June 2020. It's like a brand new account. And then you scroll through the account, there's only a couple hundred tweets. They're all really vague. They sort of make it look like they're pro-Trump or look like they're into conspiracies or something like that. But really, they mainly retweet more stuff than is actually original content. And the tweets that they do make that seem pro-Trump and pro-conspiracy completely look like clickbait. Looks like they're all just fishing for the likes and the follows, and then soon enough, you don't know what the heck that bot's going to start doing and what they're going to start posting. Could be misinformation, could be stuff just to make Q World look crazy. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. Don't just scroll through Twitter and like. That's not thinking for yourself. That's just staying in that echo chamber. You got to be careful and learn to identify when you're seeing real fake news on social media and also the accounts. Because these bot networks, they're getting very sophisticated. You got to remember, we have those retired generals like Stanley McChrystal, Michael Hayden, probably a few others. We have retired generals that are literally teaming up with private companies, nonprofit organizations, and trying to, quote, fight disinformation, which means basically push propaganda and figure out different ways to run psychological operations on the public to try to sway public opinion. So I'm sitting here thinking man, are these retired generals putting in their expertise and helping activate these bot networks, not just on Twitter, but as you can see, the fake news media, they're trying to blame TikTok. They're trying to blame TikTok. And you see all these shills on Facebook and YouTube and just all over the place. So it's getting weird out there, folks. It's getting really, really weird. And you just got to make sure that who you're following on the internet's a real person. That you're not getting catfished by some CIA troll in a dungeon somewhere operating 50 different sock puppet accounts trying to brainwash people. So there's that. And speaking of TikTok, what country does TikTok come from? They originate out of China, of all places. So, again, just a lot of things to be aware of. Let's take a look at the actual humans. So, where does this story come from? Okay, TikTok teens and K-pop people saying they sank Trump's rally, TikTok users troll it, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, there was this woman, they call her Mary Jo Lopp, a 51-year-old grandmother out of Iowa, appears to have led the charge on TikTok late last week when she posted a video encouraging people to go to Trump's website, register to attend the event, and then not show up. So that's why they're saying that TikTok users trolled Trump's rally. They're claiming that thousands of TikTok people and, I don't know, other people trying to troll the event out there registered for it, got their tickets, and then did nothing. So that's why Trump's attendance was low, because he got trolled. Check this out. This chick, Mary Jo Lopp, she used to work on Pete Buttigieg's campaign. Big surprise there. That CIA shill, Pete Buttigieg, this chick worked on his campaign. So there's that. Take a listen to this TikTok video that she apparently uploaded, and this is what started that whole attempt to troll Trump's rally. It's bad. It's weird. Bad energy, low IQ people. They really are. So that's their pathetic attempt this morning to attack all that. Now let's get into the latest Q. We have like 6 or 7 drops to go through. So I'm going to start with yesterday morning's, getting into what's going on with the attorneys in the Southern District of New York. So Q gives us a tweet from the Justice Department, and this particular tweet was Attorney General Barr nominating a new attorney to serve there in the SDNY, the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton. And the reason why he's nominating a new person is because there was a complete swamp rat in there that they had to go and drain. So Q's saying, SDNY, Southern District of New York, what's the importance of that? It has the jurisdiction over Weiner's evidence collection. Oh, that's big news. The Clinton Foundation, Epstein evidence collection, because his Manhattan apartment was there. So, Southern District of New York, Epstein evidence collection, Ukraine. Focus on the above for now. What else is coming through the Southern District of New York? Some people are also saying that grand jury panel for the 9/11 investigation too. What's through the Southern District of New York? Could be more coming. Watch New York City, Q says. Then they give us another tweet, SDNY News. And this is a statement on U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman. That was that little swamp rat. On the announcement by Attorney General Barr. Barr basically said that Berman is showing his political colors. Can't have that when you're trying to be an attorney for the Department of Justice. So you're out. You're out, Berman. And back to Q. The guard refusing to step down. So this guy Berman actually refused to step down, and Barr told POTUS, President Trump, to axe him. Appointed to post by Southern District of New York judges, which is unusual. Removal of, quote, acting. The stakes are high. They will fight. Super Bowl to puppy show. What kind of code could that mean? We'll take a look in a couple of drops at some code in regards to puppies and dogs. As you may know, the elite like to use that sort of code time and again when talking about each other, different messaging. They use dog symbolism. Maybe it has something to do with that. Or Q's just saying that all this is going to come to light is going to make the Super Bowl look like nothing. Next drop, we're getting into some of that dog symbolism. So, an anon on the boards said Barr can fire Berman, correct? Each United States attorney is subject to removal by the president. So they can't not just sit there and refuse to be released. They can get fired. And Q says, correct, they can get fired. And also gives us a graphic here with some code. On June 10th, Q gave us a drop that said, do Anons understand what is about to be unleashed? Unleashed. And 2 days later, Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, posted these photos of his dog Mercer to Twitter with obviously him being unleashed. I saw some people take note of Mike Pompeo's dog tweets, but I don't know if I saw anybody actually make that connection to the unleashed thing, which looks like why Q is reiterating it here. Do Anons understand what is about to be unleashed? Good stuff. Next drop, 4486. Q talks to us about what's called the External Advisory Board of the CIA. And says here, CIA Director, early 2017 to April 2018. That was Mike Pompeo. Then he went to Secretary of State. The External Advisory Board, CIA members during this time. Well, we may know a couple of them, but the list actually hasn't been released publicly yet. Was Bill Barr a member of the board? Well, from the alleged member list that we have out there in the public domain right now, it's been published by the mainstream media, yeah, they're saying that Bill Barr was a member of this External Advisory Board for the CIA when Mike Pompeo was the director of the CIA. So, we have the Secretary of State right now and the Attorney General right now who just, a couple of years ago, that Secretary of State was the CIA director, and then Bill Barr was hanging out with him while he was CIA director, getting briefs and doing meetings, things like that. So, the strategery in play right now is incredible. What advantages might exist to incoming AG Barr regarding being a member of that External Advisory Board? A lot of advantages. You can't even grasp some of the advantages out there because we just don't know. But nevertheless, again, he's going to get meetings, going to get briefings. I believe in some media reports I read about that External Advisory Board, they were talking about how some members on it went to meet Mike Pompeo at the farm, at the CIA training center itself, like a lot of stuff. So what advantages might exist to a Secretary of State regarding former director of CIA? A lot. It must be right. It must be according to the law. It must be proven. It's what you don't see. There's a lot we're not seeing right now. Always got to realize that. Durham is not the only game in town. Ha ha! Hot damn. Durham's not the only prosecutor coming after the bad guys. And that shouldn't be surprising. Makes sense to me that they would have other people investigating and prosecuting and looking into this that they're not telling anybody about. Makes total sense. And let's get into that External Advisory Board. So there was a couple articles I found in the mainstream media over the last month or two having to do with this board. They came from Politico, which, of course, it's going to have a hell of a spin. But if you can read these articles through the spin, there's actually some pretty enlightening details in here. And this is also probably why Q is making note of this External Advisory Board right now, is because Politico, in this particular piece, this one was like 5 days ago. So this is pretty recent. They're going to start, looks like, attacking Mike Pompeo and that board. There is a Democratic representative who's trying to get the list of names that I talked about was classified by the CIA about who was on this board. So Stephen Lynch, a Democrat out of Massachusetts, he's trying to get that list. And then, of course, try to light Attorney General Barr up with it and try to make it look like there's all these incestuous relationships and shit like that. Their playbook is clockwork. Now getting into today's drops after that rally, Q gives us a couple of screenshots from an Anon, reposting an Anon on the boards. They noticed that people were posting their experiences on Facebook of not being able to get into that rally. Said there were thousands of Trump supporters that couldn't get in the gates, thousands more supporters with tickets not being allowed past barricades. Apparently there are no more screeners to let us through checkpoints. If you hear it's a poor turnout, it's simply untrue. That was the top testimony there. We got another one on the bottom. Q says it will not happen again. Remember, they also phone in to report threats. Deliberate, fake threats. Heightened security due to recent events. What was the combined social media unique view count, non-TV? Q says 5 million plus, which I could totally believe. And keep your eye on the ball. So, good point to note there. Fake news media is trying to say that, people didn't show for this rally, and it's low energy now. It's just not the same momentum it used to be, and that is complete horseshit. Man, with obviously, of course, the coronavirus nonsense and that hysteria that's going on and the lockdowns, not as many people are going to be going to these rallies. It's just basic logic. Still a great turnout for the circumstances at that arena last night. And everybody's just watching it digitally. When I was scrolling through YouTube looking for a live stream feed, I saw more viewers than I've ever seen in my life watching a Trump rally. The Fox News feed, this was before it even started, 150,000 viewers. This feed, 100,000 viewers. There was multiple feeds that had 100,000 viewers uniquely, on each of them. And that was just YouTube. People were watching on Facebook. People watching it on Twitter. Q saying here 5 million people watched it. Probably more by this point. Next drop here. This one's a long one, but a gold one. Some basic things being asked to put the big picture into perspective here. Can you see and understand their attempts to slow and stop accountability? Who benefits the most? COVID-2 lockdowns. Lockdowns plus C, COVID-2. I think that might mean second wave. So we get lockdowns plus a second wave of COVID. Economic gains wiped. POTUS unemployment gains wiped. Put a hold on Trump's rallies. They're trying to close churches and person-to-person contact. Trying to keep people in isolation, dim energy, lower their energy down, give them more fear, no hope. Lockdowns and coronavirus, increased death toll. Democrat mayors and governors push COVID-positive seniors to hot zones, senior home care facilities, trying to retain fear and lock down, isolate, control people even more. They combined flu death counts with COVID to increase the death toll. One of the ways they've been inflating the numbers, with more ways they've been inflating all these testing and death counts too. We don't even know what's really going on. That's the craziest thing. Anyway, they've been doing that, inflating all the numbers. Biden hide away and prevent self-embarrassment. The Democrats are trying to get mail-in ballots to flood doorsteps. They're trying to build public unrest, a future BLM 4-year push. Release unrest, BLM 4-year push. They've been pushed for about 4 years now. We first started hearing about them in 2015 and 16, and now, lockdowns, all this race division, race riots going on. Now they're trying to release that pent-up, built-up angst in their Antifa minions and whatnot, Release that unrest within closed Democrat-controlled cities and dedicated safe zones. Mayor and governor coordinated, guarantee release of those arrested. As we've seen, we've got funds out there to post bail for people that got arrested, and in some districts, they're literally just not even prosecuting the people. Oh, you got arrested for rioting? Oh, free to walk. Biden, negative news, eliminated regarding Ukraine and China, family bribes and corruption. Biden, negative news, eliminated regarding sexual assault claims with Tara Reade. They've inserted Antifa, both foreign and domestic, F&D, DNF, pocket-controlled Democrat safe zones, country on fire, MSDNC, peaceful protests are fake, not peaceful. They're trying to bait POTUS to use the GI, the General Infantry Military, on city streets. They are untrained for civilian unrest, the National Guard, not really trained for that. They're trying to capture the money shot. The fake news wants that money shot, a shooting of a peaceful protester. All you need is one. And then, a whole shitstorm would ensue, right? Or they're trying to breach the White House perimeter. Just that would be a huge money shot, a huge thing for their propaganda that they could be able to use. Take over central location, attempt White House breach, safety, security of POTUS. Current, former, and military public statements. POTUS, unconstitutional framework, military takeover of exercise, loyalists prevent. So like I mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of those, some ex-generals retired, some active service, possibly even now, all coming out saying mean things about President Trump, which they're not supposed to be doing. BLM, 4-year push, C, wave 2, opportunity card. Democrat mayors, governors impose new restrictions if needed. Retain narrative about mail-in voting, needed safety, security. Limit economic and employment recovery, slow it down. Added, bar, today, lockdowns, plus coronavirus, second wave. Halt the use of grand juries due to close proximity. COVID-mandated restrictions throughout all cities. Lockdowns plus C, halt travel of called witnesses regarding pending investigations. Durham, known, legal, out deployed by witness. I do not feel comfortable and or safe traveling due to COVID-19 health concerns. Driver, baseline, MSDNC coordinated narrative con. That's all they're trying to say in this long, elaborate drop. But they're going through each piece, each check mark that we can put off and be like, oh, this is convenient for them with COVID. This is convenient for them with COVID. Oh my gosh. They're just killing all kinds of birds with one stone with this one. Apply logic and common sense. What are they trying to prevent? Number one, POTUS being reelected, indictments getting unsealed, mass exposure to the public, trying to save their reputations, trying to stay out of Guantanamo Bay, trying to not be ridiculed by hundreds of millions of people in the American public. That's what they're trying to prevent. Who benefits the most with all this stuff? Quite obviously, the bad guys. All assets deployed, human assets, and even digital bot assets. Crazy stuff happening right now. And then the last few drops here. We have 4490. Shout out to Space Shot getting linked by Q there. And this was a tweet where he noticed in Trump's rally last night, Trump was talking about Seattle. And he was talking about him not wanting to do anything with Seattle because, number one, he hasn't been asked. But number two, he's just leaving it up to the mayor and the governor to try to handle the situation, which they're doing a pitifully poor job of right now. And he's just saying, it's up to them. You gotta show the world. And that's basically what Q's been saying. You must show them. So, Space Shot saying here, sound familiar? Q Plus saying something that Q said. And then in this drop, MSDNC, a peaceful summer of love. That's what they're trying to call it in Seattle right now, in that autonomous zone, a summer of love, and it's all peaceful. Yet last night, someone got shot. Someone got shot last night. Dude gets shot. Cops try to respond. The people in the autonomous zone didn't let the cops in to respond. And then they all started blaming people out there for the, they started blaming the cops. Why didn't you get to this guy soon enough? Why did he bleed out? Well, that's because all your people in the autonomous zone are trying to throw rocks at us and all this sorts of shit. It's absurd. Anyway, reality seen on social media. Q highlights there: murder, violence, destruction, anarchy, lawlessness. The reason why they highlighted seen on social media, because you're not going to see it on your TV. All the real world stuff you're seeing is just people with phones in their hands on the ground at these events. It's the only way you're going to find the truth of what's going on is on social media. People are awake to the truth. Seeing is believing. The age of social media killed their ability to fully control. You can't censor the world. You are the majority. They're trying to censor the world, but they can't. Not all of us. And the age of social media killed their ability to control us. How ironic. They created social media to track our every move and engineer us socially and culturally. And here we are using social media right back at those assholes to wake up the world and end their corruption. Ironic. Just beautiful. Okay, next drop, 4491. We get a tweet from Robbie Starbuck. And he says there's still a lot of good in humanity. More of this, please. We get a video of two black gentlemen helping two elderly individuals into their car. They couldn't get into their car, so these guys come up, help them in, and that's just humanity right there. That's where we should be at every single day, all the time. But we have these wealthy, elite, corrupt people out there who don't give a shit about you, about me, about black people, about white people, nothing. All they care about is themselves and their corrupt crony friends in their criminal syndicate networks. That's all they care about. We're all slaves, folks. We're all slaves. When you boil it down, we got the Federal Reserve sitting right there. If you want to topple a statue that has to do with slavery, go do that one. Why are the Georgia Guidestones still up? What's up with Epstein's Temple? What's up with all these statues of presidents like Obama and Bush? If you want to really go after slavery, you know what I'm talking about. You go after those folks. That's the modern day slavery, and they're still in power, and it's time to get them out of power. They're losing it. Thankfully, they're losing all that power, but we need to continue fighting, everybody. It's time to be loud. Not the silent majority. It's time to be loud. Don't give two shits about what anybody out there thinks about you. You just say what's on your mind, what's in your heart, and wake up everybody out there. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Much appreciated. If you want to support me, there's some links below where you can do that. If you like to click things, click the subscribe button, click like on this video, share it around. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon. Take care, everybody. See ya.